Good morning.
Hello.
You remembered that it's morning in Seattle.
Of course, this time.
Or maybe you saw the giant coffee cup sitting here and it gave it away.
Exactly. I recognize. Yeah, exactly.
If I set it close to the camera, it looks really, really large.
Exactly. Well, it's an American coffee size. That's, I guess, they.
That is the joke, yep.
Exactly.
Oh, man. 2 meetings in a row, 2 days in a row. We don't get to do this very often.
Exactly. That's got to be every very seldom. The stars align. But I guess it's kind of nice that you get to follow up on stuff more frequently than usual. So
Maybe. I mean, I have absolutely nothing new since yesterday.
yeah, I guess that's true as well.
Just the rest of the day yesterday was all work stuff, and I wasn't able to come back to any open source work yesterday.
Right.
I'm making a giant at the end of my day yesterday is probably like maybe 2 hours or something. Just this uh like um like diagram in one of these like diagramming tools. Just trying to like draw our Postgres platform and all the different because we have to do a lot of integrations with other systems. Um, and it's just like things have accumulated. We've had a platform team working on this for a while. And I just kind of realized recently, like, there's all these things that kind of like this part of the team knows about this and this guy knows it, but like we've never actually put it all into one picture. So that was part of my day yesterday was trying to just draw it. So we could see
That's useful.
everything in one place. Yeah.
Exactly. It's useful when you need it. Otherwise than that, they said, "Oh, go ask the team," and they know how it works. But to actually put it on paper is surprisingly useful when it's needed.
I was motivated because we have sort of the leadership that I work under has like an offsite meeting plan that's coming up soon. Um, and so whenever these sorts of like leadership meetups happen, then they're going to talk about like, priorities and what everybody's going to work on next. And it would be very useful because, then they're going to have all these ideas. They're going to be like Postgres this, Postgres that, Postgres this. And it's useful to have the picture so you can show them, be like, here is everything involved in Postgres. So just so you know, if you're going to ask for something, it affects all of this stuff. So that just so you don't think it's going to take 15 minutes when it's actually going to take like 2 months.
Exactly. But that's good. It's pedagogical as well to have a picture to actually point at for the leadership.
Yes. Well, and it helps everybody. Like just it's drawing an architecture diagram is beneficial in a bunch of other ways. Probably should have done it like, well, we have some architecture diagrams, but just like they're kind of older. They, because we've done a lot of work over the past few years and not everything had been kept up to date, and we didn't quite have one diagram that had everything on it. We had like just different projects would happen, and so you'd kind of like do a diagram, an architecture diagram, like for the scope of the project you're working on. So it was just time. It was time to come back and try to do a new high level diagram. Right motivation was there, and it'll benefit lots of things. It's just a bunch of work to do it. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. Then you don't want to you want to get it right, not just sloppy.
Yeah.
Probably like this. Then
Yeah. So yesterday I got like all the icons on it. And
okay.
today my goal is to draw all of the arrows. And I think that drawing the arrows is going to be harder. It took getting all the icons was hard already because like there's probably like 30 or 40 different systems, like icons, different systems, both internal and external. Now I have to do the arrows. Like so what everything that talks to everything else, like just knowing this is going to even be worse. It's so
Exactly.
many,
Yeah.
so many
I say
things.
the
There's
arrows
so
are the
many.
hardest parts.
Yeah. Yeah.
The next
So, yeah.
difficult part is when they ask what is the impact if you change something.
Yeah, exactly. What if we remove this arrow? Well, don't.
Well, and inevitably, I'll go to the leadership meeting, and they'll be this. Everybody's going to complain about stuff. They're going to be like, "Oh, why are you doing that? Why are you using that old system? Why can't This is going to be complaining because you put it on the wall and they actually see it for you're like, oh, you're still using that? That's like 5 years old. We've moved on from there. Well, sure, okay. Tech debt, how many engineers do you want me to put on it, right? Like what else am I taking off of the planning to put this on the planning and
You know.
just the usual boring stuff. Trying to run a business.
Exactly. Yeah. Like it's so time well spent anyhow. It's yeah. And architecture pictures, they're quite easy to outdate as well. So
Is Jonathan coming today? Does anybody know? He
There
often
was
comes
no
to the
comment. There was no new
yeah.
comment.
Yeah, I know yesterday he said he couldn't come. I think technically yesterday was office hours and today is a developer meeting, right?
Yeah.
And the developer meeting is the one that usually runs off of the minutes. Like there's that document with the
Yes, this has
minutes.
an agenda, and this is the recording, and it will be uploaded to
Yeah,
YouTube automatically.
right, exactly. So I think I don't think we can do the Armando, are you actually EDB or no? I'm trying to remember
I'm
names.
checking if I can do the recording, but it seems I can't.
Yeah, I was thinking probably only the meeting organizer can actually click the record button.
The
No,
recording is ongoing, no?
at least I cannot see it. I apologize, but I don't think I can.
but I think I agree. The recording is blinking.
So it's already recording in that case.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
yes, it is. Okay. Careful what I say.
Yeah, exactly. It's company secrets are off the table.
Definitely no company
Huh.
secrets here. That's right. So there's also an agenda.
Very familiar topics, though.
March 19th.
Mox, you have some weird noise coming from you.
Ah, sorry, it's my loud walking.
Okay.
And the headphones are directed directly towards the ground.
There we go. That's funny. Last month it took me an unreasonable amount of time to realize that there was a button in the top left that I could click to edit this. I spent probably 10 minutes clicking on this thing trying to figure out how to edit it before I realized there was a button right here. It's very obvious once you see it. Okay. Armando, do you know if Jonathan is coming? Should we wait for him?
I have no idea, to be honest.
Okay, so
I think we could potentially start.
Seems like first on the agenda, Yakub isn't here.
Yeah, he mentioned yesterday that he cannot join, but please, we should discuss the.
I saw that he's squeezed up on the agenda as well.
Yeah.
did anybody ask him? Oh, he's not even green. He's got the white circle, which it might mean that he's not at his computer, or he's away. Oh, Leo's here.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey, Leo.
Hello, Leo.
Not sure what else to do other than just post a Slack message.
So Jakub asked us yesterday, you remember that we should discuss this topic.
Okay. But do we
This
know?
is hard if
Like,
he's not here.
I would say let's maybe. Well, let's see what else we have. So, Max, we talked quite a bit yesterday about the node watching.
Yeah, exactly.
We could wait on Jacob. That name can be pronounced about 3 different ways, so I'm not sure if I'm saying it the right way, but one way is Jacob. We could give it like maybe circle back to that just in case he's able to dial in later, and maybe actually ping him on Slack. Where did he post his message? Probably.
He said yesterday that he couldn't join.
Yeah.
Oh, he said he won't be able to join today? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, then in that case, we should just dive right in.
Yeah. But indeed, we discussed about the watch node. Or, sorry.
What? Okay. Did Jacob, is there a Slack thread where he had a specific request related to this? I'm looking for it, but I need to find it. I don't see it in dev. Maybe it's in users. I'm way behind. I haven't read my messages. Marked them as read. I don't see a message. Where did he say that he won't make the office hours?
Yesterday in the meeting when we were in the call.
Oh, it was just in the meeting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm super excited about this because I've been like seeing the updates on it. Yeah, and this has been in the docs. I commented there. What did he say in the meeting? Here's the last comment on the PR.
If I remember right, he was mentioning that he tried to do all the changes that were asked, and he wants some reviews. I don't know.
Okay, it might just sort of be this message here.
Yeah.
Which is his comment yesterday. Marked it ready for review yesterday. Okay. And this is, let me take a look real quick. That's a lot of files. 16 files. This is a long PR. This is the thing with when the PR is long, it just takes more time and work to try to understand everything that's in there. Okay. I don't know if this is something like I don't think I'm good at this well, and like I don't think that I understand it well enough to review it on the call in real time because it probably would take me longer to read through everything.
Yeah.
Even to catch up. I have to remember even what my last comment was here.
But that's Jeremy. Sorry I was late, but that's what I was also referring to yesterday in the other meeting. Is that
Yep.
we don't have now the capacity to take on large features. And this is quite important, because how important it is to pause and resume, the PG bouncer stuff. It's a feature that is missing, and so yeah, I think that's again the main problem.
So that doesn't, from a committer perspective, we're tight on bandwidth, but that doesn't. Anybody who's here on this call, even who's not a committer, can still test out the PR, can give feedback on it, and I think all of that helps a little bit. Like giving this is just like the Postgres mailing list. Like it's for many years, like everybody has always said, one of the biggest bottlenecks for Postgres itself is reviewers, like patch reviewers. There's lots of people who will and for years it's been this way. There's always been kind of like more people putting patches on the mailing list because it's, I don't know, it's less sexy, it's less, flashy just to go do reviews of patches, but it's actually really, really important work. So anybody can help with these things. And it's just, even for me, it's hard to find time to do it. I'm always more interested in my own features than I am in like reviewing somebody else's features. It's natural to be that way. But this one I'm interested in, and I should really try to find some time to look over it, to test it, to read it, to give like thoughtful feedback on the PR. And that's, I think, helpful to everybody.
When do you think that it will be calmed down? And what do you think that there's sort of review capacity within CMPG maintainers to take in new stuff?
Yeah. No, as I said yesterday, we have been now focusing on the extensions, on working on the new extension stuff. And then the next one is to remove Barman Cloud from Encore. Otherwise, we keep adding stuff and keep dragging technical debt version to version. Okay, what does it mean? To remove Barman Cloud from Encore? It means to have a framework, general framework to test plugins, which is also something that allows us to scale as a project by allowing everyone to write plugins in a way that they don't break the operator.
Also, if I may add, Gabriele, solves the problem that we have to review everything to be merged or made. So
Exactly. So the plugins can be used, for example, to accelerate prototypization. Okay. And yeah, so I think that could be a good thing to do. But at the moment, I don't think so. For example, we already have declarative roles that have been pushed, and there's already some work that has happened there. And for 130, we don't want to miss these two things. So at least 130, hopefully we are able to have declarative roles and remove Barman Cloud from Encore with a framework to add end-to-end tests to plugins. I think, yeah, the alert.
Would that mean that basically for 29 and 30, so the backlog is booked?
Yeah, 29 is already feature freeze. I mean, there's RC1, so we're
right.
planning to release next week. So 110.1 is gone.
Right. I guess basically why I'm so persistent on these questions yesterday and today is that specifically my features is sort of dependent or locking from our organization to proceed. So it would be nice to have a plan roughly. Is it acceptable, but it's not top priority, so it will go in 2 months, or so that of course I understand that that's a lot of requirements to put on a maintainer to
exactly,
estimate when things can go in. But
so
yeah,
that's the thing. What I was also hinting yesterday. We all work for an organization. Okay, so I can dedicate spare time to this project on a volunteer basis, and it's definitely right now my favorite project. Okay, but that's it. I don't want to spend time on my own time on features. More than I should. So for example, if I have sometimes I prefer to spend time doing something else. So we also have to think about that. So if there's my advice, so for example, we've got an organization that fortunately, I mean, I'm very fortunate that they pay us also to support this project. And also we need to do what they are, like we need to do what the organizations, tell us to work on. So this is also what's happening. I think we could be happy to work on the organization's time, And we have also, that's the work we have to prioritize. That's how things work as well, you know? So
what is the timeline for V30? Like when?
So that right now
we-
that we try and release once a quarter. That's why we wanted to release 129 last week, the RC1, because we didn't want to miss the first quarter like we've done for the last 2 years. Okay, so we're trying to release once a quarter, and we were able to pull. I mean, the main objective was the extension images, and also we were targeting the declarative roles, and we could not complete declarative roles in Q1, but fortunately, thanks to a customer of our company, they needed a feature, we were able to add the pod selector refs, and that's what we did. We were able to do it, we found a way to do it, and we added it. Okay, so we believe that with these two features, and then there was a service account PR, we were able to review it. We thought that that's going to be a good feature, a good release anyway. So let's release. So that's how it went. Okay. And then we had to unfortunately postpone declarative roles. So, but I know that we have some of our customers that are interested in that. So fortunately, I think we will be able, I hope we will be able to prioritize that work.
What do you mean?
Okay.
We already have declarative roles. What do you mean?
No, the new CRD, the database role CRD.
Can I have a
as a
question?
CRD, because right now it's like a property of
Yes.
because right now you do roles as a property of the database rather than as its own CRD.
So that's that's how things work.
Sorry, cluster. It's in the cluster CRD. It's in the cluster CRD right now, right? Not the database CRD.
Yes, there's manage roles. It's a stanza under the spec. And what we want to do is have a database role CRD.
I was about to build something like internally at our company that's built on top of the cluster roles. I didn't know you were just about to change all of that.
No, it's in the roadmap. It was actually for 130, and we had to postpone it because of that. So it's exactly what we did for databases. And because what Leonardo did for databases in 120, I don't remember, 124, probably 125. And it really improved. It's also much easier to maintain. So we wanted to also expand it to manage database roles.
And every time you do it, Max has to have an uncomfortable conversation with his poor Kubernetes admins about CRDs.
The problem is it's not Max, but I mean, we have to have discussions with someone to discuss with the Kubernetes admins, and it's
we'll have to
us too.
Us too. Discuss with your telephone operators. But does that mean that it's basically pull request freeze from external contributors up until 130?
So 129 is frozen. Okay, so 129, that's it. 129 is going to be released hopefully next week. So we're actually asking everyone to test RC1 to see if there are problems with upgrading and maybe some of the features. Okay, so 129 is gone. So the next, opportunity is for 130. Okay, so let's not forget that we've been also busy with mentorship programs, Linux Foundation mentorship programs. We're also trying to improve the posture for incubation. So this is all work that is taking a lot of time, and it's not maybe visible in terms of features, but it's grabbing a lot of focus and attention from us. Okay. So this is also important to consider. if we get
Yeah,
to
yeah.
incubation, it's a win for everyone, So we also have more support from the CNCF, so that if you are in the incubation, you can have access to conformance programs. So it's an official program run by the CNCF to enable external software to declare themselves as conformant with CloudNativePG, and we can define the rules. Okay, so that's another thing that will allow us to scale, not just by adding stuff to the operator, but for example, adding plugins. Okay, and I mean we've seen this with Postgres. Okay, so Postgres has scaled a lot, but through extensibility. Okay, I'm lucky that with my company we implemented, for example, the whole create extension stuff was done by my previous company. So we've seen all of that, all the create extension stuff, yeah, and how that's improved the entire ecosystem for Postgres. So ideally we would like to do something like that, okay, but it's taking time and having technical debt that originates from decisions we made in the early stages, wrong decisions. Okay.
Yeah.
But because of the growth of the project, we are at a crossroads now, because what do? We keep growing with this massive ballast of technical debt that it makes the code more difficult to read and maintain, or we just pause, slow now, remove this ballast, and then we can go much faster. So that's where we are at now. So I think that until we have removed Barman Cloud, we have enabled everyone to transition to the plugin. We enable the growth of other plugins. Okay, so there's people that want PG back REST, people that want WAL-G, people that might want to create their own plugin. We need to enable them with a way that allows them to test immediately the operator, the plugin, and also allow us to publish these plugins as validated plugins for CMPG for a specific version. Okay, so this is also important for the ecosystem. Understand that the immediate thought is about adding stuff to the core. Okay, but we have to think about CloudNativePG as an ecosystem. That's also the playground, for example, is another project that I know, Jeremy, you're working on that, but the extensions is another one. Okay. So
Quick
I hope it's
question.
clear.
No, sorry. Continue. I thought you finished. Sorry.
Yeah, no. I know it's not what I would like to say. I understand that I think I'm probably speaking on behalf of the other maintainers. We would like things to be differently. We would like to be more proactive, more responsive. Also, the other thing that we did was create this AI policy. We were wasting a lot of time just closing issues or PRs coming from people that didn't have a clue about what they were submitting, and forced us to go every PR, every PR, So
Yeah.
this is not what we want to say, and what you want, I know many of you don't want to hear, but this is the reality at the moment, and I don't think we can do any best at the moment.
Quick question. Like you mentioned the roadmap on what you are working on, and you would need testing. Are you open to open some tickets or GitHub issues that could be contributed to, because it's in our best interest to have good testing, and maybe other members as well would contribute to it.
Every feature. So for us, every feature needs to come with tests and documentation.
Yeah, I mean
so all PRs are there. So there's nothing hidden. So I want to clarify that everything is transparent. Okay, so we don't have a private repository where we develop stuff internally and then we publish. Everything happens directly on the main GitHub repository. So for example, even this declarative role management, there are some things there. We need to change the name, but I know that Leonardo had started to work on that, and then it was redirecting on other components. So for example, Leonardo is not actively working on CMPG. Okay, so this
I
is
was trying to
yeah.
be fair that if we can help you progress faster, then maybe the load would be a bit smaller on you, and then you could have options to review stuff. Like,
Yeah,
I know
I
that
think
it's
yeah, I think for example the 7614 is a ticket where I think we will need a lot of help, and also 4681. So for example, 4681, we believe that now we are in a position to remove Barman Cloud. Okay, I'm pretty confident now. The plugin is production ready. We have fixed several performance issues. Some were really probably embarrassing even to say. Okay, like the fact that we were, the way we were distributing the binary of Barman Cloud. Okay, so for example, these two tickets, they don't require knowledge on how the operator works, but there's a lot of hard work to be done on verifying that, for example, documentation is okay, that we can easily migrate an existing Barman Cloud native implementation to the plugin, and make sure that we are confident in ditching the native support, because on the code side is really a very simple thing to do. Okay, we've done all the work to remove Barman Cloud from Encore. Okay, we just need help on the confidence, and that I think that can only come, I think, from the community. So we were thinking that probably having end-to-end tests can accelerate the confidence building the confidence. But again, for example, right now all the end-to-end tests for Barman Cloud are part of the in-core set of tests. So there we need to find an incremental way to go from the existing situation to one where the end-to-end tests are completely outside CMPG. I don't know if it makes sense. So the hard bit is to find a way that can be done incrementally, so that we can have small patches, small batches of changes that we can add to main. So this also, I think, links to what Jeremy was saying before. If we see a long patch, that's gonna take much longer than 10 small patches that are related one to the other. Does it make sense, Gellert?
yeah, it does. I'm just trying to
Yes.
figure out where do we fit in the community. How actually, what are the actions on our end to empower the maintainers to actually have time to maintain.
For example, any help on these two tickets?
Yeah.
You see, we haven't been able to make any progress. Okay, but if I could choose, I would prioritize these over the declarative roles, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, I think
we of course cannot commit right now. Of course, we have other tasks, but
we all do.
Yeah. Let's say I will try to look at it in my spare time as well.
Yeah, I don't know what Armando Leonardo, you think, are the other maintainers that are here.
Well, I agree with you, but I think that in the PRs that are linked in the roadmap, if we can get as many paid of eyes as we can, it will be useful, even if it's not just us reviewing them. And if you can help us testing them manually. This would help us. At least it would help me.
Or even propose end-to-end test and answer.
Yeah, absolutely. Because in the end, uh, as reviewers are usually different individuals than the one that were proposing the patch. So we have a different thinking about the original author. And this happens for everyone in the community. So please have a look at the patches. Maybe you will find something that you don't like, or you have the chance to share your point of view, which in my opinion is always great.
The plugin based backup and recovery stuff isn't like that's all merged and that's all just feature flagged. We don't really need to even do custom builds to test that, right? That's
No.
just kind of give feedback on the code that's already. Is there anything that's not in version one? Like, can we just test on version 129?
Yes,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Everything
And
is ready.
probably even on 128, right? We could probably even test on 128.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Many
Okay.
people are using the plugins instead of the in three Barman Cloud support. So yes, please test it.
Test and give feedback. Yeah.
Yeah, if you
Yep.
can. Test migrating from the in-core support to the plugin, if you can. That's useful too.
I'll follow up with my own team about that and find out where we're at with
Yeah.
testing. And I know we kind of started looking at it. I don't think that we've migrated yet, like on our fleet. So this is helpful, a reminder to just go follow up on that.
Yeah, we fixed so many things, and I believe now we should be ready. Ready, should yeah. I can't find anything else. But it's just my pair of eyes again.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
need help.
Although I think even recently, I think we found a place where Barman Cloud was still hard-coded, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
In
That
so I
was
think
removed.
yeah.
So in order to like most effectively test this, the problem with hard coding barman, I have to think about this carefully. So what you would need to do to test this is use the minimal image, make sure that like barman is nowhere in sight, and the only thing that's there is the CNPG plugin. That's it.
Yeah.
And then you test everything with
Yeah,
that.
you
And like
follow, I think, look
if
at
it's hard
the
coded
link.
anywhere, you're going to hit an error, right?
Yeah, look at the link that I shared. It's the documentation of the plugin. And I think you just need to follow that. And then see if
I
there are
think
possibilities to break the process, something that we haven't thought. Think outside the box.
okay.
Okay, I think over there, I'm not sure if we use the minimal image here, but it's definitely, a good idea to use that.
Well, we definitely need.
The
I mean,
minimal or the standard. You can use minimal or
yes.
standard, not the system.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. We
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
not use the system image. That's really
Exactly.
important, I think.
Yeah. And then what we need to do is the other thing, if you go on CMPG, there's a lot of tests in the source code that apply to backup and recovery. Okay. And that's the hard part because some also are related, for example, even volume snapshots. The volume snapshot tests also include tests with Barman Cloud, okay, to test point-in-time recovery with volume snapshots and so on. All that stuff, we need to make a decision. I think we should remove most of that from in core. Okay. And even there, there are also a few options. We transition those tests to use the plugin, or we move them outside in a generic end-to-end test framework for backups that applies to all the backup plugins that somebody can write. I know that there's also a plugin for WalG, a plugin for PG Backrest, and so devise a set of end-to-end tests that use just the interface, the plugin interface, and that they can work with any specialized implementation that is Barman Cloud from the community, or at that point the Opera people that develop the PG Backrest think they can use the same set of tests to validate their plugin. And we can have an official page of plugins at CMPG that says these are the plugins that work with these versions of CMPG. So that's the ultimate goal of all of these, okay? And this is what
that's getting into 7614. That's this one, right?
Yeah. So this is what we believe should be done now instead of adding new features to the operator, okay? Because this will allow to escalate the ecosystem, like you see with the extensions,
So if we get to the point where there's the Barman plugin, there's the Backrest plugin, there's the WallG plugin, do you think that like all of the end-to-end tests for the plugins should run directly on the CNPG repo, or do you think that the tests should run in the repo for the respective plugins? Like, so what I'm saying is, do we just provide like a framework for running a test, but the test itself actually runs in
the project,
a separate repo in the project repo?
And then,
that makes more sense to me too.
And that's where we want. So, for example, we had on Sunday we will be at the Maintainer Summit, okay, for the CNCF. And if again, the importance of becoming an incubation project is that we will be able to access to the conformance program for CNCF projects. You can actually Google that, okay? And this is something that came out from last year, the KubeCon in London, from the first Maintainer Summit, and I actually proposed that. So I'm really happy that it was accepted. And I think it's the second one, November 11. No, that's AI. Sorry.
No, that's AI. It's either the working group or the software conformance. I don't know which one.
It's on GitHub.
Maybe.
It's on a GitHub resource now. I think I had put it in some tickets. Now this is for Kubernetes. This is, for example, there's only one conformance program in the world at the moment, and it's Kubernetes. Okay, Kubernetes is indeed a trademark. Okay, so
yeah,
only those who pass this conformance program are allowed to use the trademark for Kubernetes. That's why there's EKS, AKS. They're allowed to mention Kubernetes in the name. Okay, that's because of this conformance program. Okay, and we were able to, so I brought up, the idea that we had about plugins and how and also the difficulty for us to test CloudNativePG on any Kubernetes version, okay? So I expressed this problem that we had because people expect that we certify on every distribution, okay? So I said, why can't we do like Kubernetes? Kubernetes has a set of tests that all these distributions can run to certify themselves against the software. So they came, they listened to me and a few others, and they were able to, after a few weeks, to come up with this new conformance program dedicated just to incubation and graduated projects. Okay, and at that point we could apply and request help, and they can guide us through. But still, I think we need, before that becomes kind of an official way for certifying CloudNativePG, I think we still need to write the tests. So, but this is just to explain to everyone the direction where we want to go. We want to create a flourishing ecosystem, okay? Rather than keep investing on the operator now, we want to pause, get the ecosystem, enable the ecosystem to grow in a faster way with software that is much easier to write and is less dependent on maintainers. And then at that point, we can repivot on the operator again, hopefully, because we are more free. Okay. So this is just to provide everyone, a bit of context about decisions or lack of action that sometimes might leave you disappointed. I understand that I would be, disappointed and frustrated if I was on the other side. Okay, but we really truly making, our best, So.
Okay. I mean, and Max, to your question, like there's not, I don't think anybody's speaking in absolute terms. I mean, if somebody has a PR and it's 10 lines of code and it's easy to read and it's a simple bug fix and it just makes sense, like the maintainers aren't going to be like, oh, I'm not allowed to commit it,
Exactly.
But for a really large PR that requires a lot of thought, like it's not off the table. It's not impossible. Like you never know what'll happen the next 3 months. But I think what I'm hearing from Gabriele is just like, here's what our priorities are. And so like that's what's really important to them. And it sounds important to me too. It sounds like a good focus.
We agree that it
for
is
sure.
important, for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Somehow it was not as clear to us as it might be for you guys that
No,
these are things happening.
I get that, and unfortunately, I'm actually living, on the other side of the world until September. I'm back in Italy only for a few weeks now. So for me, I haven't been able to attend for months any meetings. So yesterday and today were the first ones after 3-4 months. So
What time zone are you normally in?
Melbourne.
Are you in my time zone? Oh,
No, Melbourne.
No, the
The other
okay.
one.
Yeah. So
I thought I was on the other side of the world. But you're right. Melbourne's also on the
Yeah.
other side of the world. Okay.
I shared the conformance program link in the chat, Jeremy.
Looking.
But for example, by the way, just to derail a bit from, I don't know, this has all the negative sentiment, but I think it is a great thing that you are trying to achieve. So like you are being,
Yeah.
I feel that this sounds like a bit negative, but actually this is important for.
Yeah, I'm glad you appreciate that. Thanks.
Yeah, so
And that's why I think we need to try and be more clear, and that's also the
Max,
purpose of these meetings,
Max, what is your timeline? Like, so you would like to adopt CNPG. You're in an environment where like you just don't have, so your administrators have agreed to do the CRDs, but they've given very, very strong pushback on anything beyond that at all, beyond
Exactly.
CRDs. So,
yes.
right. So like if you wanted, I'm just trying, one of the things I'm trying to sort of help reason through is sort of the decision process, your decision framework, which is like if you need to go live this summer or if you need to go live this fall with something and then kind of working backwards from there and trying to figure out, does that mean CNPG is off the table? Does that mean maybe, you think about sort of build up the PR, but then, just sort of, you can always compile it yourself with the PR, right? In the meantime, and then maybe when the CNPG team, when all of us and look for people to review it either way, even people who aren't CNPG committers, if you can find somebody who will just read it and review it and go over it with you, that gives you some useful feedback. Maybe the answer is you compile your own copy just to kind of get yourself, because if that enables you to at least launch, and then in parallel, whenever it happens, you can sort of try to kind of merge back in and sort of find your path forward.
You're right. I guess for us, we're willing to fork and manage it that way for this instance. But then,
we discussed this yesterday, Max. This is not a fork. This is a patch that we discussed yesterday with Jeremy. That's right.
Yeah, it's a patch, and it's like I would avoid this if at all possible. Yeah, go ahead.
Exactly. That's what I want to avoid it at all costs, because in the SBOM, I mean the software bill of material, when we look at our customers or anyone looks at all right, what software are we purchasing, then it won't be a CNCF or a CNPG project, but it would rather be in this case a Ericsson fork per se. Of course, I understand that the fork is not intended to stay as a fork. It wants to go back to upstream.
This was just Just a terminology thing. Just call it a patch instead of a fork. It's a better word.
Yeah, just technically from like
same as
we
Red Hat
cannot
and
call
Debian
it.
packaging. They just have patch files when they package things, and that's all that this is. It's just a packaging thing that you guys do. And who knows?
We can't
maybe we'd be interested too. I don't know.
So it is like we can do that, but of course it has different implications for us, and it's not. I guess it's not a problem for you, or not like something we should bother you with these problems.
Well,
but
I'm curious about it because this is an area that applies to my company too. So I'm also interested, like just to track with the progress. I mean, I've mentioned before, we're wrestling with a lot of the same things. You know, my team does not have admin access on our clusters, and we've had to negotiate with sort of the Kubernetes teams to figure out how to handle all of the things that you're dealing with. We've made slightly, like our Kubernetes administrative team has made slightly different decisions than yours has, but they all share the same concerns. And so I'm very interested in like, it doesn't have to happen tomorrow. And I feel like the CNPG team is like prioritizing the ecosystem stuff and getting a good foundation seems like the right decision to me. And like, I'm happy to kind of just work in parallel, while they're focused on that.
Maybe you can review our commits then. I know Mox's one and then the one with the not crashing webhooks.
Yeah. No, yes. I mean,
the webhook one is small. That is like a few lines.
Let me see what I can do. Let me see. The problem is like in the last 30 minutes, I've like had 3 different potential commitments here. One is reviewing the backup stuff for Gabriele. One is Jacob's PG Pooler stuff, and then now there's also this. So like I've got to figure out like what I have been, and I don't want to promise things.
I can promise, like not promise, but say that maybe for us is more. Maybe the testing would be something as a candidate that we could look at, like testing and automated testing.
But I guess from a committer point of view, having a patch is not a problem if we see that the communities or the maintainers rather are open to taking this in, and then that perhaps now is not a good time due to like mentioned previously. But if so say our patch is not going to be accepted, then that is perceived a bit differently, and then we will stay on that.
Set the expectations carefully. My sense has been the general idea of like running with fewer permissions, like as an idea, I think people are supportive of that. Like the patch will get discussion. And like we don't know yet, like because you don't know until you have the conversation, and you kind of have to see what ideas people have as they think about it. And like maybe the final thing that gets committed is very different than the patch that exists today. This is just like with Postgres. Like sometimes somebody else comes along with here's a better way to do the whole thing, and it actually works really well for you, and it works better for everybody, and everybody likes that approach, and that's what ends up getting merged. Like you never know until it's merged, like what the final thing is going to be.
Yeah, but also even to analyze, you need to switch context and be focused on fully focused on that topic. And unfortunately, that's quite critical. It's not like adding one option or another. So this is, and I understand what it's not. For example, specifically, it's not what Max is trying to do that worries me. Is more what we are adding with what Max is intended to do now will open up for other use cases that we haven't not yet understood or analyzed that can actually open up for a full series of further changes and further problems. That's what worries me more about when we touch these kind of things. It's like with the in-place upgrades, which was a feature that we actually developed when the software was still proprietary. Okay, it was pushed by a customer, and we had to do it. Okay, but that breaks immutability of containers, and that's still there. And for example, it's happened I think once that we released and we had not thought about those that are using in place upgrades, and test that thing specifically for those cases. and we broadcast, because that's the thing, you don't know who's using it, you don't know how they're using it, you don't know where they're using it. Okay. And that's what worries me more. I'm not worried specifically about what Max is wanting to do, because I think he's already addressed, his environment. It's mostly not knowing yet, or not having the possibility now to analyze deeply what this can open up, is what worries me more. I need 2 minutes too. Thanks, Jeremy,
I need to drop off.
Yeah. Take care.
Okay.
All right. I need to drop off, but it's not technically my meeting, so I'll talk to all of you next
Jeremy.
time.
Thank
Oh,
you.
Good
thank you.
conversation.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thanks.
Thank you.
Let's see.
Bye.
No worries. Thanks. So, Gela, you will be at KubeCon next week, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So make
Oh.
sure you come and meet us. I think, Michael,
wouldn't
myself,
miss
and
it.
Leonardo will be there. Okay.
I wouldn't miss it.
Good. Awesome.
Great. Max,
Okay.
will you be there too?
No,
Unfortunately not. We had to
No.
prioritize someone, so Geller got.
Okay. Wow.
Unfortunately.
Okay. Good.
No, not for me. It's for me. It's like good.
Awesome.
Great.
But enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ciao.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Ciao,
Bye.
ciao.
Ciao.
Bye.